What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today for show and tell and today's review, I have something new from Avant. This is the Vanta 2 Nano, little tiny 2-inch 2 to 3S ripper. This little guy is super light and the PID tune on here is 100% dialed in. So I gotta say props out to Avant for really getting a good tune on this quad. No vibrations or flutter in the flight yesterday, and I tested it in super high winds, which is really good for you guys. It was kind of wind that I normally wouldn't fly any type of say like Beta FPV 95X or 85X in. Anything with prop guards, this did extremely well in the wind. So if you're looking for a quiet little ripper that can handle a lot of wind like a 5-inch can, the Vanta Nano is actually pretty good. So let's talk about the quad itself. It does have a 3mm 45-degree turn carbon fiber unibody bottom plate. We have 2 screws on the bottom of each motor, so lightening it up a little bit. We're not using 4 screws there. It has a 3-bolt top release plate, and the top plate looks like about 1.5mm. Also 3K carbon fiber. We have TPU mount up front for a RunCam Nano 2, which is pretty sweet. TPU mount for the dipole antenna in the back. We have a 200 milliwatt video transmitter on here. We also have an SI F4 flight controller. It is a 16x16 stack, and I'll just show you that here. We also have ESCs that seem to support up to around 4S, but we're not going to run this on 4S today. It's recommended on 2 and 3S for this little guy. And I think you'll probably agree with me that 3S is quite good on this little quad. So we also have some motors that are rebranded Brother Hobby motors. These are Avant. They say Avant on the front, but they are 1103 7650 kV motors. And we have GymFan 2023 props. So this combo right here is really efficient and actually extremely quiet. No one noticed that I was flying this. Walking by or driving by, it's like a hummingbird out there. It's really fast, but does great lines out in the field. So let's go ahead now and let's go out to the field. Let's do a little flying with this little Nano, and we'll come back in and give my final thoughts on this new Avant super portable micro brushless. Awesome to fly this one. Classic body style, really easy to work on, and a really great tune. So let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go. All right guys, let's go ahead and get the Vanta 2 Nano up in the air. This is the second version of the Vanta. I have flown one of these before, and I have to say that the original one was kind of originally quickly coined as like one of the fastest quads out there at this scale. So right away I was hoping that this would have a really nice tune, and when I really started to throw this quad around and give it some hard turns and really give it some high throttle, I noticed that right away that the tune was really locked in, especially given the conditions that I'm flying out here in this field. So it also does have a beeper on there. You can do a D-shot beeper, so I wasn't too worried about crashing out in this high grass. But look at that punch out. This little guy has a ton of punch out, and right now I'm only flying on 25 guys, so you're going to see a little bit of breakup, but you can use the smart audio. It does have Tramp on board, and you can crank it up to 200, switch channels and bands, of course, to fit your flying needs. If you're doing a race, you got plenty of channels to do a race, but it tracks really, really well. It feels like I'm flying a 5-inch, but such a portable factor. Low to the ground flips, no problem. Plenty of control, and the RunCam Nano 2 was nice out here in the field because I haven't flown this field before. Whenever I fly somewhere new, there's always things that you can't see that are going to reach out and grab the quad and make you crash. But luckily, I did pretty well out here. And now on my second battery, the first battery was one of those batteries. I just wanted to show you guys some punch outs, how well it would do up in the air. And if you have an older battery, it will sag out. You'll probably get 2.5 minutes flight time. Your newer batteries are going to get you up to 4 minutes to 5 minutes flight time on this little guy. But a 3S450 is my battery of choice. And here I'm just playing around with the nice lines that this quad can achieve, and felt comfortable enough to go through the power lines there. And we're going to try a power loop over those 2 trees here before we end the video. Just want to see how well it tracks in a power loop. A lot of times, my first attempt is usually a little bit overpowered. I tend to put too much throttle in it, but that's also trying to avoid the treetops, and having to shake this one out of the tree wouldn't be good today, because those trees are about 35 feet tall. But I'm just trying to slow it down here a little bit for you guys and show you how it can be flown if you're just chilling. If you're just taking your time, learning a little bit of freestyle. The cool thing about a small quad like this for beginners is that it is so small that even 15 feet up in the air, this little guy turns on a dime, so it really can recover quite quickly if you're not quite used to the controls yet, which is really nice. And the nice thing about this frame is it is really lightweight. You're not likely to break this one unless you have a full send crash into concrete. But looking pretty good here. A little bit of breakup, 25 milliwatt on that dipole. Here's a steep dive, no problem. Could have even went deeper on that one. Really nice day to fly. And loving the way the quad feels. Right now we're flying with a lower camera angle just because I wanted to test out a little lower speed, and you can see the props in this view. If you want to raise up the camera and cut the props out of view, you can go up to about 30 degrees tilt and get rid of the props in view. But here again, like, since I have such a low camera angle, I can really just kind of cruise and explore. You could even do some canopy exploration with this quad, I think. But for the money, I think it's a good buy just because Avant tunes their stuff, and really testing out that tune here. Got a little too much height out of that power loop. Let's see if we can get in a little bit closer there. Try one more here. Back up around those trees. Nice snap. Really, really nice power loop. I'm really feeling that. And up close to the 3-minute mark on my 3S450. Not bad at all. Really feeling the tune on this one. I love it. It feels really locked in and really, really smooth. So I'm going to come head in for a landing now. It's hovering quite nice too. No crashes with this little guy. Just 2 thumbs up on the flying side of things. Let's go back in and do some final thoughts on this little Avant Vanta 2 Nano. I'm loving it. Super stoked on this one. Here we go. So that was a lot of fun. This quad can pretty much do anything you want to throw at it. If you want to fly it in beginner mode and stability, just do some slow, straight ahead flying. This quad has a lot of characteristics for being able to slow way down and be efficient enough for the beginner, getting over 5 minutes flight time with a 3S450. The Tattoo 3S450 is my battery of choice on this quad. You're going to mount it a little bit further forward than you generally would. Just gives a little bit better CG for this particular airframe when you're in forward flight and doing your freestyle flips and tricks. I also figured out that it doesn't have a lot of bottom end sag. So this is a fairly old battery, and I was still able to get enough power in the dives that the power to weight ratio on this little guy is pretty high. It's definitely 10-to-1 or better. And I had no problem coming out of dives or any type of even power looping. It had no problem. So it'll power loop tall trees. It can power loop low to the ground, and pretty much whatever freestyle move that you could do with a 5-inch, I'm pretty sure you could do with this quad. So I demoed one of their Avant quads, I guess about 2 or 3 months ago now, before the whole COVID thing. And it was one of the fastest micro brushless I've ever flown. So this one can slow way down for the beginners or for the intermediate and advanced flyers. This one is also a lot of fun. Now also on here, I didn't mention this before, but I have a little tiny antenna right here coming out. This is already mounted up. It's the AC900, which is compatible with Futaba, or it can bind up to an FR Sky radio. So don't worry about if you don't see XM Plus in the website when you're looking for your RX type. You can also select Crossfire Nano if you really want to get out there. They'll put a Crossfire Nano on here for you, so you can get some extended flights out of that. But 5 minutes flight time, you get pretty far out there. And the VTX does actually pretty well on 200. So I think that they put the right combo VTX and camera on here. The Runcam Nano 2 is one of my cameras of choice for micro brushless. So I think this is an easy bet for anybody that wants to get something that's going to be fast, smooth, but also something you can grow into. And the price is right now on the website. It's around $125 for one of these bind and fly. You can choose up your RX type on here. I'm just going to see real quick. If I add the AC900, that makes it, I think that's an extra $12 on there. If you want to add extra props in the cart, you can also do that. Crossfire Nano is about $30. So those are pretty good prices. You guys can check out the link down below and give AVANT a try. I think you're gonna love one of these frames. And the motors, absolutely rip, guys. I'm Justin Davis, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.